Happy Friday, everybody. Your boy here, Apollo from Down, Down, Up, Up, and it is time for our final horror watch along of 2021 October. We had a blast. We had fun with Dracula kicking us off. From that to Frankenstein, always a classic. Even got The Mummy and The Invisible Man in, and both of those were well enjoyed. Again, my personal pick out of the five I reacted to is The Invisible Man. Little bit of something for everybody, in my opinion. But today we're wrapping up with, without a doubt, one of, if not the biggest horror stars of the Silver Age. That's right, we are jumping into the 40s, early 40s for this last one. It's time for the Wolfman. This is always interesting to me because the Wolfman has always fit into the lure of the Frankenstein monster, Dracula, the Mummy, Invisible Man, all the classics. But it's funny to me though, again I have to say it, this movie originally was supposed to be sort of a guess and catch kind of movie. It wasn't originally going to be showing that the man of the hour does turn into the Wolfman. It was sort of going to make you guess, is he really turning into a Wolfman, or is this more of a psychological issue? But I guess somewhere along the line, they just decided, no, let's just show a Wolfman and make this work. And long term, the better decision of it all. This monster is the one that inspired a lot of later sequels, including him, the Frankenstein monster, and Dracula. Mad Doctors, Hunchbacks, a little bit of everything, even culminating together with two of my favorite comedians of all time, Abbott and Costello. The Wolfman started a lot for the, what's the proper word here? The return of real monster movies from Universal at this time. It stars Lon Chaney Jr., someone who came from a lot of family history on horror. His father, Lon Chaney Sr., was classical in, I believe, The Hunchback of Notre Dame and Phantom of the Opera. Both silent films, but his son continued this freaking legacy, became the biggest, honestly, I'll say it, the biggest of the 40s to do monsters. He did the Wolfman, he did the Frankenstein monster, he did Alucard in one of the Dracula sequels, whatever you'd like to call it, and the Mummy, I believe, 4 times. This guy got his big start here, and it counted, damn it. And it's funny when you think about it. This is without a doubt not the best werewolf movie of his time. There is not a full transformation scene in this movie, and not even a shot of the full moon from my recollection matching his transformation. We worked low enough, but what this movie has proper atmosphere and proper music to match to a high degree. And a funny thing, about somewhere through this movie, there's a little score that sounds way too much like Danny Elfman's Batman from the Tim Burton movie. It's just too similar. I swear, I think it's when Chaney is, he's in the town trying to get the attention of his girlfriend. You just hear it, and that's the first thing you think of. Minus that, though, some amazing dialogue in this movie as well. If there's one thing I want to warn you guys before we jump into this one, I'm not sure how we're doing matching music so far. The only one that I have posted at this time of recording is Dracula, and it seemed like it went as well as could be. I know this one has a lot of music I'm going to enjoy in it, and I don't think I'll be muting it as much. I apologize if some of this reaction will be completely muted. However, my main goal of this, I really want to just reach out to you guys and say, if you want to enjoy horror, start with the classics and see how you feel. This is one of those, but if anything, find the sequels. This set I have says enough. This has 30 of the best movies of horror history on it, and I'm about to enjoy the final one of our little watch-along. So without any further ado, I'm going to move my little pre-arrangement of things one more time. Get my water, because, of course, hydration. My cats are all around me waiting to pounce. Let's hit the play button and watch The Wolfman. Love also that Claude Rains is in this. And this was the first movie I saw him in. And even Bela Lugosi ever so briefly as the werewolf that sort of started Lon Chaney's downfall in this movie, his character's downfall. Yes, more updated. Every time I see this Universal intro, it reminds me of Abbott and Costello. I've seen, I think, all of their movies. Almost all of them. I love this music. I'm sorry if this gets muted. Claude Rains first shown in this, too. They actually have pictures of everyone in the opening credits. Oh, yes, Patrick Knowles is in this. I've seen him in way too much stuff. Evelyn Anchor, she's lovely. And there's Lon Chaney at the end. All right, here we go. Immediately, we just open a book on werewolfism. We're just setting the mood right away. Alright, there we go. Sorry if that was muted for everybody. I was just going through characters who I'm happy to see. Claude Rains, Lon Chaney Jr., obviously, Patrick Knowles, Evelyn Anchors.
Castle, Mr. Larry.
And here comes Larry Talbot. Lon Chaney Jr. stepping into the big spotlight here.
Welcome home, Larry.
And Claude Rains.
Hasn't changed much, has it?
Not in 300 years, except for a few modern conveniences. Do you know Paul Manfred?
Sure.
Just dropped in to say hello. Welcome home, Larry.
We used to snitch apples together.
Now he's chief constable of the district.
Which reminds me, I got to get to work. See you tonight about 9, Sir John. 9. Glad to have you back, Larry.
Such easy discussion. Everybody's happy enough, but
So, Paul,
tragedy. That's what these movies are. You guys know by now.
He's Captain Manfred, present for time.
Gummy Bear, come here. Come here. Stop getting into trouble.
Father, I'm sorry about John.
Oh, yes, his brother died.
Your brother's death was a blow to all of us. Sit down, won't you?
It's a shame that had to instigate the family getting back together, and then more horror to come.
The elder, next in line of succession and so forth, is considered in everything. The younger frequently resents the position in which he's found and leaves home, just as you did.
Yes, but, Father, I'm here now.
Fortunately. But isn't it a sad commentary on our relationship that it took a hunting accident and your brother's death to bring you?
Well, it really isn't as bad as it sounds. I watched every bit of news about you. I was mighty proud when you won the Belden Prize for research.
The whole business is probably my fault. See, the tradition also insists that the Talbots be the stiff-necked, undemonstrative type. And frequently, this has been carried to very unhappy extremes.
Don't I know that?
Larry, let's decide, you and I, that between us, there should be no more such reserve.
There we go.
I'll
But
do
we're
everything that I can, sir.
trying to mend the wounds.
The 18 years you've been away should have qualified you to be of immeasurable benefit to the estate. Since in a great many ways, we are a backward people, but don't quote me. What have we got there?
It's from London, sir. I think it's a new part for the telescope.
Oh, yeah, big telescope, too.
Come along, Larry.
Sorry, I'm more fascinated watching Claude Rains because this is so close to when he starts doing Phantom of the Opera. He's sort of the main focus for at least the first few minutes.
There you are, sir. I think that has it.
Hell of a telescope. To get something like that back then, you must have been pretty important enough. Kiddies, what are you doing? He's playing with an elastic band
Excellent.
between the
Where do you
door.
learn such precision work?
Optical company in California. We did quite a job on that Mount Wilson Observatory.
Interested in astronomy?
Not especially. I'm all right with tools. In fact, I've done quite a little work with astronomical instruments, but when it comes to theory, I'm pretty much of an amateur.
All astronomers are amateur.
Good to be good, hands-on.
There's only one professional.
Ask Harrison Ford.
Fine. Well, I've got some things to do for lunch. I'll leave you to it.
And of course, give Larry the telescope and he'll find one of the wrong ways to use it. He's stalking the town and he's looking around, people on their bikes, people riding the carriages, and of course, a girl in the window. Yeah, there's the antique store. So you know exactly where to go find her. Be as creepy as possible, too. He's definitely more of an appealing character when he's going through his misery. You feel for him way more, but here he's just creeping.
Good afternoon, sir. May I help you?
Well, yes, I'm looking for a gift, something in earrings.
Me? Yes, some very nice ones. There's these,
He's just looking at her.
How about these pearl ones?
No, I don't think any of those would do. What I'm really looking for is something half-moon shaped with spangles on it, golden.
I'm sorry, we haven't any like that just now.
Oh, yes, you have. Don't you remember? On your dressing table up in your room.
Dude, that is so
My
creepy.
room?
That is so
Would
creepy,
you mind
man.
getting them for me?
Well, they're not for sale.
Well, I can't say that I blame you. They look so well on you.
Well, perhaps my father can help you. I'll call him.
No, that won't be necessary. As long as I can't have the earrings, perhaps I'll buy a cane, huh?
Tell me, how did you know about the earrings in my room?
Oh, I'm psychic. Every time I see a beautiful girl, I know all about her. Just like that.
Well, what kind of cane would you like? We have day wear or evening wear.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
This one, it's very smart. Solid gold top.
No, I don't think that'll...
He's just looking at her.
How about the little dog? That would suit you.
No, thanks. Well, there's one. Make a good putter.
Yes, it would.
And what's on it?
That's funny. Another dog.
No, that's a wolf.
Oof.
Oh,
Some rough foreshadowing there.
a wolf and a star.
And a pentagram.
What does that mean?
I thought you said you were psychic.
Oh, I am. But this is only wood and silver, and it hasn't blue eyes.
Well, that stick is priced at £3.
3 pounds. $15 for an old stick?
Ha!
Well, that's a very rare piece. It shows the wolf and the pentagram, the sign of the werewolf.
Werewolf? What's that?
Well, that's a human being who at certain times of the year changes into a wolf.
You mean runs around on all fours and bites and snaps and bays at the moon?
Oh, even worse than that sometimes.
What big eyes you have, Grandma.
See, it's hard to get invested in his creep dialogue, but there's just something about Lon Chaney that makes it work.
Even a man who is pure in heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the Wolfman blooms. The autumn moon is bright.
Yes, but what's this pentagram business?
Every werewolf is marked with that and sees it in the palm of his next victim's hand.
Look, lady, if you're trying to scare me out of here, you're not getting very far. I'll take the cane.
Oh, please tell me, have you ever seen me before?
Of course. How do you suppose I knew about the earrings?
I can't remember ever.
Tell you what we'll do. We'll take a little walk tonight, and we'll talk it over.
No.
See you at 8.
No.
See you there. Ah, here come the gypsies. There's Lugosi. The lead gypsy, the lady, I don't know her name by heart. She is fantastic in this movie, too.
Gypsies, huh?
Yes, the fortune.
She might even be better in Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman.
You know, I haven't had my fortune told in years. How about tonight?
No.
Fine, I'll be here at 8.
Yes, that's the sign of the werewolf.
That's just a legend, though, isn't it?
Yes, but like most legends, it must have some basis in fact. Probably an ancient explanation of the dual personality in each of us. How does it go? Even a man who is pure in heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms.
He may be a scientist, but damn it, he's optimistic.
It's the same thing the girl in the antique shop said.
Oh, you met Gwen Cunliffe, have you?
So that's her name. I was just looking the town.
Naturally. Continue to look it over. I want you to know not only the pretty girls, but the old men and women and the young men. Get to know all about them, Larry. They're nice people. They're your people. After all, you're going to run the estate.
Of course, I want to know all of them.
Seem to have made a pretty good start. Well, no. Get on with the good work.
All right, thanks. Good night.
Good night.
Such a good enough start. Watching this original does make me wish, though. Yes, there are sequels, but would it not have been interesting if there had been sequels spanning just the Wolfman's previous life? Like, he comes back to this town, sees how it's become, and we just see what happens. Because we really follow the Frankenstein monster more than anybody in the sequels.
It's you.
Well, of course. Who did you expect?
Nobody. I told you I couldn't go out with you.
And yet you wore those earrings that I like.
That was just because I...
Oh, come on. I don't want to go alone. I'm really afraid of the dark. And you see, I wore my cane, too.
I wore my cane.
Jenny.
Oh, dear.
This is Jenny Williams. She wants to have her fortune told, too. I'm very pleased to meet you, Mr.
Just call me Larry.
If you don't mind, Larry.
Well?
He's going to make the most out of his situation.
Oh, look. Oh, Wolfman.
Oh, yeah, just Wolfbane.
Even a man who is pure in heart and says his prayers by night may become...
He has to hear this from everybody.
And the autumn moon is bright.
So you know that one, too, huh?
Of course. Everyone knows about werewolves.
Man, they just really drill it home. Anyway, to the gypsies we go. Still good to see Lugosi, even though it's just for a few minutes.
We've come to have our fortunes told. Can you really read the future?
I will not disappoint you, my lady. Will you step inside, please?
Do you mind if I go in first?
No, go right ahead.
Go on, silly.
Play nice, kiddies.
Quite a pipe the old boy's got, isn't it?
Cut the cards.
All right, Jenny, you're first and last.
We didn't come down to listen in on Jenny, did we?
No.
Well, maybe if you took a little walk with me, I could tell your fortune.
I wish they would have just walked away from here.
So you're a fortune teller.
Uh-huh.
Is that how you knew about the earrings?
Well, not exactly. You see, a telescope has a mighty sharp eye. It brings the stars so close that you feel you can almost touch them.
Telescope?
Had
Sure.
to.
But it does the same thing to people in their rooms. That is, if you point it in the right
You don't say that.
I wouldn't.
Well, I was only testing the refractor. I didn't know about you, and all of a sudden, there you were.
No, and I'll be sure to draw the curtains.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I mean, not on account of me. I mean, well, you know what I mean.
Yes, I'm afraid I do. But it's only fair to tell you I'm engaged. I'm going to be married very soon. In fact, I really shouldn't be here.
Oh, but
Well,
you
why,
are.
well, why are you? Okay, back to the fortune telling.
Can you tell me when I'm going to be married?
Oh, didn't like the Wolfman there. He's not feeling good. And he's got the pentagram on his
What
forehead.
did you see?
Your hands, please.
Trying to cover it up.
Your left hand shows your past. Your right hand shows your future.
And of course, what's in the right hand? There's the pentagram again. Man.
What's the matter?
Can't tell you anything tonight. Come back tomorrow.
Man, Lugosi looks freaking terrified.
Something evil?
No, no. Now go away. Go quickly. Go!
I'm going.
Oh boy. Horse is getting terrified. And Lugosi's changed. Again, nothing on camera, but effective enough.
What was that?
I don't know. I've never heard anything like it before.
Stay here.
Goodbye, Jenny. Oh, Larry, you should have just waited out.
Wait, Larry!
Now you get to see the wolf get her. Trying to fight it off. Beat the death. There it is. Movie history made. Talbot has been bitten and beat the thing to death.
Larry, where are you? Oh, Larry. Larry, what happened? What's the matter?
A wolf.
I sure as hell passed out. And how did Gypsy Lady just went by the place where Larry had the accident and she didn't see any of it? That surprises me. I just noticed that now. She comes in her carriage right by where the wolf got beaten to death and Jenny got killed.
What happened to him?
The wolf bit him.
She knows.
Do something.
She knows
Can't you help
already.
him?
We must take him home.
Big boy, isn't he?
Huge.
Like the red Talbot there.
We should have had him in the guards.
Oh, no. He'll be invaluable here. Looking after the estate. He's had a lot of experience in America.
Oh, well, he's not doing so well right now.
Yeah, what's the matter?
Master Larry, what's happened?
He was bitten by a wolf.
Wolves? Nonsense. There have been wolves around here for years.
Where did all this happen?
Gypsy Lady just sneaks out.
Where is she?
Who?
The gypsy woman. I'd never have got in here without her.
Yes, of course, the old woman who was just in the doorway.
Can't find her.
Was there anyone else with you?
Jenny. Someone get Jenny.
Sir John, Captain.
For the marsh, yes, for the marsh.
Shut, man.
Jenny. Jenny Williams.
What about her?
She's been murdered, sir. Wolf, gypsy woman, murder. What is this?
What makes you say she was murdered?
Her throat, sir. Come, let's look into this. Here, show me where it happened. I'll send Dr. Lloyd.
Peaceful little town, nothing happens, something like this happens. Shake my nerves, man.
Mr. Twiddle.
Back to the scene of the crime.
Take it out, Twiddle.
Very good, sir.
Jenny Williams, attacked by some large animal. That right, Dr. Lloyd?
Her jugular was severed with a bite of powerful teeth. The cause of death, internal hemorrhage.
What's the matter with you, Twiddle?
Oh, I'm a little squeamish, sir.
Well, don't be squeamish. Write down what I told you.
Very well, sir.
Oh, yeah, there's Patrick Knowles with the dog. And he's probably going to find
Captain
Lugosi.
Yes, sir.
Obviously changed back to human.
The gypsy who passed through town this afternoon.
Was he killed by the same animal, Dr. Lloyd?
No, his skull was crushed by heavy blows with a sharp instrument.
Take it out, Twiddle.
Very well, sir.
Baylor, the gypsy, found dead near the body of Jenny Williams. Cause of death, heavy blows from some sharp instrument.
And a lot of mud on the feet.
So they are. Otherwise, he's fully dressed. Make a note of that, Twiddle.
Very well, sir.
Oh, what's this?
Oh, a stick with an horse's head handle.
It's not a horse's head, that's a wolf's head.
Mr. Frank, them tracks back there. A wolf.
Take it out, Twiddle.
Very well, sir.
Found on scene of tragedy.
Hey,
Silver
stop playing with the
stick
cord.
mounted with a wolf's head.
Naughty cat.
Let's have a look at those tracks.
It's just such a shame. Every little bit of it is covered up. You kill a werewolf, it reverts back to a human. Victims laying dead, and the new intern wolf. No proof yet. But still the most suspicious, it's his cane. Well, Larry.
Shouldn't you be in your bed?
Well, no. I'm all right.
Good morning, Larry. This is Dr. Lloyd.
You frightened us last night, my boy.
I'm sorry. I guess I did kind of pass out. Is this your stick? Well, of course. That's the one I killed the wolf with.
Larry, Baylor the gypsy was killed last night. They found your stick by the body.
You mean Baylor, the fortune teller?
Kitties.
I only saw a wolf.
Sorry about the noise. They're playing with some of my curtains.
He bit me. Look here. Well, that's funny.
No mark on the
Must have
chest,
used that.
no nothing.
Larry, Paul wants to ask you some questions.
Well, sure, go ahead.
No, I think we ought to leave him alone.
What's the matter with you? Paul wants to question him. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, go ahead. But don't try to make me believe that I killed a man when I know that I killed a wolf.
Yes. We're all a little bit confused. He needs a good rest.
We'll talk to you later, Larry. Come on, Doctor.
Coming, Sir John?
Yeah, I'll be down in a minute.
It's not a good situation in their minds, and it's only just gonna get worse.
Larry, will you stop worrying and let me handle this?
Oh, but they're treating me like I was crazy. I'm not accusing him of foul play, Sir John, but after all, 2 people are dead, and I am chief constable.
That's no reason to make a great mystery out of it. You talk like a detective in a novel.
Now, please, gentlemen, there's a very simple explanation. A dog or a wolf attacked Jenny Williams. That's proven. When she cried for help, Larry and Baylor went to her rescue. It was dark. Excitement and confusion, the gypsy was killed.
What about Baylor's bare feet?
He just didn't have time to put his shoes on.
What about this non-existent wound?
Larry imagined he'd been bitten. After all, the beast jumped at him and tore his coat to shreds.
Still, he insists he received a wound. You tell me his coat was bloody when the 2 women brought him in. Surely a wound can't heal overnight.
Haha.
Perhaps the shot.
This one can.
I'd rather you didn't bother him with questions just now.
You policemen are always in such a hurry. As if dead men hadn't all eternity.
Well, you'll be declaring me a mental case next.
Oh, no, I wouldn't dare.
Thank you. In return, I won't question your patient again if you think fit.
Thank you.
I'll tell you one thing, if they had decided to hold Larry in some kind of sanitarium or even jail, this mystery would have been revealed much more sooner. There goes Jenny's body, and Larry's just across the screen watching.
It's the gypsy fortune teller and the man that killed him.
Oh, sorry, no, not Jenny. The Bela Lugosi. Larry is just following the body into the graveyard. Not much of a funeral, nobody even following the man carrying the casket, except Larry. Hide yourself, my good man. Guess he feels like he has to check.
My dear, we can't bury this man without prayer.
There is nothing to pray for, sir. Bailiff has entered a much better world than this. At least so you ministers always say, sir.
And so it is. But that's no reason to hold a pagan celebration. I hear your people are coming to town dancing and singing and making merry.
For 1,000 years, we gypsies have buried our dead like that. I couldn't break the custom, even if I wanted to.
Fighting against superstition is as hard as fighting against Satan himself.
Everybody has their beliefs, everybody has their own traditions. That's just life. I forgot, his character name is Bela in this movie, too.
The way you walked was thorny, through no fault of your own. But as the rain enters the soil, the river enters the sea, so tears run to a predestined end. Your suffering is over, Bela, my son. Now you will find peace.
Man, she does a heck of a job. Obviously knows what's going on, and Larry's intending to find out. Jeez, he's even crying over it.
But, my dear, there's nothing they can accuse you of. Now, here, why don't you go up to your room?
Oh, back to Gwendolyn's
I
place.
don't want to be alone, Father. As soon as I close my eyes, I see Jenny. I'd rather stay here.
Why, of course, my dear, of course. Well, ladies, what can I do for
Where
you?
is she?
Why? What do you want to know
I
for?
want to know why she left my little Jenny all alone.
Oof.
Well, I suppose she didn't want to be there while the fortune was being told.
Oh, what a lie. You know she just wanted to walk out in the
Now,
dark.
you mustn't speak of my Gwen like that.
Oh, listen to him. There's a fine father for you. How dare you permit her to walk out with other men when she's engaged to Frank Andrews?
She didn't do anything wrong.
Anything wrong?
because of her that my little Jenny was killed.
Now, that's enough.
She's to blame. I always knew that innocent...
All right, Larry, come in and set him right.
Outside all again.
You'll not get rid of me before I know the truth. I want to know what she was doing while my little Jenny was being murdered. I'll tell you what she was doing.
All right, tell me. Come on, speak up. What
Go
was
on.
it?
Don't you dare touch me. You and your fine daughter. You've not heard the last of this.
Starlets, every single one of them. I do love Chaney when he's pissed, though. He goes into a freaking... Like, his facial expressions are top-notch.
I'm sorry, sir, about getting Gwen into this mess, but there really wasn't anything wrong.
I trust my daughter, sir.
I hope that she didn't hear all this row. Tell me, is she in?
Yes, she's in the parlor.
May I see her, please?
Of course.
Larry.
Oh, you heard them?
Yes. I suppose you can't blame them too much. Kind of a mess, isn't it?
I came over to tell you how sorry I am about Jenny.
Tell me just exactly what did happen.
I saw a wolf attacking her, and I killed it. In the fight, it bit me. This morning, there's no sign of the wound. Now they're trying to make me believe that I killed Bela, the fortune teller.
Maybe
Did
it
and
wasn't.
didn't.
It was dark and foggy, and well, perhaps the story I told you about the werewolf confused you.
Why does everyone insist that I'm confused?
Hello, friend.
Hello, Mr. Conlon. Is Gwen in?
Yes, but she has a visitor.
If there is something funny about this movie, it's funny how, for the beginning, we totally show that the town is aware of the werewolf legend, and yet nobody puts these pieces together.
Frank Andrews.
That's funny when you think about it.
Quiet.
Oh, dog doesn't like Larry.
Better take him outside, Frank.
All right, come on.
So that's him, huh?
Yes. We grew up together.
Hey, he looks like a nice enough chap. What does he do?
He's the gamekeeper for your father's estate.
Oh,
It is. Come here.
glad to know you, Andrews.
There he is.
I
There's
just came
Gummy.
over to see that Gwen was all right. I guess I'd better be going now. Goodbye, Gwen.
Bye.
Awkward. Who's a good kitty?
Frank, why were you so rude?
I'm sorry, but couldn't take my eyes off that walking stick of his.
Huh?
Gwen, be careful, will you?
Careful.
Yes. He's been away for 18 years, I know, but he's still the son of Sir John Talbot.
Oh, I see. I'm the daughter of Conliffe, who owns the antique shop, is that it?
Yes, that and... Well, there's something very tragic about that man. I'm sure that nothing but harm will come to you through him.
Hey, he's on point with it. Okay, to the gypsies customs we go. That's one way to celebrate death. In this case, at least the death of a werewolf. Sorry if this gets cut again. Again, there's just tons of music in
Aren't
this.
you glad I brought you?
There's Larry Talbot.
Larry doesn't want.
Well, I just wanted to show you that I'm not jealous.
Larry doesn't want anything to do with him right now.
Saw you walking along by yourself. Thought you might like to join us.
Well, thanks. I was just on my way home.
Oh, don't say that. Come on, we'll have some fun together.
Please do, Larry.
2 guns, please.
Yes, sir.
Oh boy, I remember this scene.
See what you can do.
All right.
Decent enough with a rifle. Just wait till the wolf picture comes up, though. I remember liking the music for this. Even his father's watching him. It's a heck of a moment.
Go ahead and shoot before he bites you.
Oof.
Bad luck. See, nothing to it. Care to try another one?
No, thanks. You win. He's unstrung. Long trip. An unfortunate accident the other night.
As Dad's doing his best to create excuses for him.
You've been a long while coming,
I'm not buying anything.
and I'm not selling anything.
Oh.
I expected you sooner.
You should have talked to her at freaking Bella's gravesite.
Oh, I remember you. That night. And in the crypt.
Go inside.
This might be the best scene in the movie.
You killed the wolf.
Well, there's no crime in that, is there?
The wolf was pale.
You think I don't know the difference between a wolf and
No.
Bela became a wolf, and you killed him. A werewolf can be killed only with a silver bullet, or a silver knife, or a stick with a silver handle.
You're insane. I tell you, I killed a wolf, a plain, ordinary wolf.
Take this charm, the pentagram, the sign of the wolf. It can break the evil spell.
Evil spell. Pentagram, Wolfman. Oh, I'm sick of the whole thing. I'm gonna get out of here.
Whoever is bitten by a werewolf and lives becomes a werewolf himself.
Oh, quit handing me that. You're just wasting your time.
The wolf bit you, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Wear this charm over your heart always.
All right, I'll take it. What's it worth to you? I'll give you...
To show me the wound?
What?
Do you dare to show me the wound? Go now. And heaven help you.
It's heavy. It's really heavy. He finally gets his first dose of reality and is trying to reject it as much as possible. And anyone who watched The Sandlot as a kid got to see some of that scene. That's one nice thing about that movie. Tried to inspire people to watch classics. Anyway, Gypsy Lady, she knows there's a new werewolf in town. It's time to shut down these celebrations, brother, because the party's over. Custom or not. Good, effective enough. Everyone's just walking, telling everyone to stop, and we're just playing music right now over it. Hey, Granola, come here. Come here and pose for the camera. Here's my big kitty. Here's my big werewolf.
Oh, Larry.
When?
Oh, don't go near her.
To see you. I thought you left with Frank.
Oh, we had a quarrel and
Well, I'll take you home.
Oh, yeah, you'll take her home, yeah.
We better go this way.
Who's a good kitty? Yes, you are.
Right, wasn't it?
Yes. What's that?
All right. That's a charm. I just saw the old gypsy woman. They give you quite a sales talk, don't they?
We sure have been watching the movies with charms and necklaces and crosses lately, eh?
Yes.
This movie, Dracula's
She said that I
cross,
was a werewolf.
the charm and the mummy.
But surely you don't believe it.
When? I won't need this. I want you to have it. It'll protect you.
Protect me? From whom?
Me? Just in case.
What are you doing, silly?
I never accept a present without giving something in return.
Huh?
Here's a penny.
Hey, off. Silly kitty. He's getting close to my camera. And he's not enough. Trying to smooch.
gypsies are all leaving.
I must go too.
Yeah, she's leaving too, buddy.
Hey, what's all the excitement? There's a werewolf in camp.
Hey, points for the honest answer. What's going on? There's a werewolf in camp. Alright. And a few random jump cuts here. Pictures of faces, characters, pentagrams, flashbacks. They had to do something first before a real transformation scene. Because like I said, I don't believe this movie has a full one. No, he's still running to go back to his house and room. What's happening to his body? Little extra hair, maybe? Maybe just a little bit of extra hair in the arms, sir? It's one place you forgot to check. And that's your legs. Oh yeah, there we go. A little bit of transformation, just not the full scene. All right. There's the legs. Oh, yeah. We did it with the wolf feet, but just the feet. It's time to go creeping. All right. He's in the woods doing his thing. We're about to get our shot. They could have ruined this so badly, I first remember, but no, it's so creepy and it's so perfect. There he is. Oh, someone digging a grave. Hey, you want to go join him in the grave? He looks terrified. He sees him. He's just run, idiot. No, you're done.
Did you hear that, Mr. Twiddle? Of course I did. Otherwise, I'd be snug and warm in bed. Sounded like a wild animal. Might be some beast the gypsies left behind.
Yeah, more ways than one.
Seem to come from the churchyard.
Don't stand there talking. Let's go and see.
It is funny when you think about it. It is the gypsies' freaking fault to our knowledge that this started in the first place. Why go to a town when you have that problem to take care of? It's not like we started this movie and Lon Chaney was a werewolf.
Summer jugular.
Anyway,
Johnny Williams was killed.
there's a new body for the count.
Find something?
Yeah,
Animal tracks.
Animal tracks, brother.
A wolf.
Oh, boy. All right, cut to the morning. There we go. We've got tracks inside the house. Filled with mud. ruining the perfect carpet. Multiple carpets. I do love those old carpets. And a very exhausted man on the bed. It's hard not to feel for him. And there's the pentagram on the chest. Yeah, clean up those tracks, buddy. Clean them up. Well, somebody's traced these tracks back to his house. He is a nervous wreck.
Morning, Larry. You're up early.
Yes. I heard people in the corridor. And is there anything wrong?
Richardson was killed last night, the gravedigger. The tracks lead up to this house.
Meow.
Footprints?
No, animal tracks, a wolf.
A wolf? Where do you suppose a wolf came from?
Well, he might have escaped from a circus or a zoo.
What is this story about a man turning into a wolf?
You mean the werewolf?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's an old legend. You'll find something like it in the folklore of nearly every nation. The scientific name for it is lycanthropia. It's a variety of schizophrenia.
That's all Greek to me.
Well, it is Greek. It's a technical expression for something very simple. The good and evil in every man's soul. In this case, evil takes the shape of an animal.
He knows his
I
stuff.
can figure out most anything if you give me electric current and tubes and wires, but something I can do with my hands. But these things you can't even touch.
What's the matter with you, Larry?
Oh. Nothing, sir. But do you believe in these yarns?
Larry, to some people, life is very simple. They decide that this is good, that is bad. This is wrong, that's right. There's no right and wrong, no good and bad. No shadings and grays, all blacks and whites.
That'd be Paul Munford.
Exactly. Now, others of us find that good, bad, right, wrong are many-sided, complex things. We try to see every side. But the more we see, the less sure we are. Now, you ask me if I...
That's some very good dialogue right there.
If you mean, can he take on the physical characteristics of an animal? No, it's fantastic. However, I do believe that most anything can happen to a man in his own mind.
In this case, my friend, a bit more than the mind. It does go back to my point, though. This was not meant at first to be about the werewolf. It was about to be about split mind.
Come on.
Almost a double personality movie. Could have been very close mark to Psycho. But again, not the direction we went.
Many's the grave he dug for others. Now they're digging one for him.
I don't dare open my door anymore for fear of that beast. Has anybody ever seen it? I don't think it even exists. Very strange there were no murders here before Larry Talbot arrived.
Hold your tongue, Mrs. Williams. Do you know that's slander?
I know what I know. You should have seen the way he looked at me in Cunliffe's shop. Like a wild animal.
Yeah, I wish he got you.
Shh. Here he comes.
Oh, Probably the one place in the world he wishes he didn't have to go right now. Not for the lazy reasons for missing church.
How are you, Larry?
Fine, thank you.
Come in here.
Heck of a church, though. I love these old buildings. Oh, it's just awkward. He's just standing in the back. Everyone's turning around to look at him. Constable, just about everyone. Evelyn, with this organ music going, and there you go, even his own father. So heavy of a scene there, and he can't stay here, brother.
I think I'll send this cast of the animal's tracks to the expert at Scotland Yard.
Why, they'll laugh at you. There's no question about it. It's a wolf.
Probably hiding in the woods somewhere. What about traps?
We've got to do something before the town becomes completely hysterical.
Yes, this muttering of werewolves.
Hold on, Larry. We're discussing this wolf that seems to be roaming the countryside.
Yes, you saw him. What's he like? Is he a big fella?
It isn't a wolf.
What do you mean?
It's a werewolf.
Werewolf? Maybe he's right. Let's have a hunt and drive it out. That'd be a valuable addition to anybody's collection of animals. Just imagine having a stuffed werewolf staring at you from the wall.
I wouldn't joke about it, Paul.
Doctor, do you believe in werewolves?
I believe that a man lost in the mazes of his mind may imagine that he's anything. Science has found many examples of the mind's power over the body.
Not what he asked.
Stigmata, appearing in the skin of zealots, self-hypnotism.
But if a man isn't even thinking about the thing, isn't interested in it, then how could he hypnotize himself with it?
It might be a case of mental suggestion plus mass hypnotism.
You mean by that he could be influenced by the people about him?
Yes.
Oh, come now, Doctor. You're letting your science run away with your common sense.
Have you ever met a werewolf, Doctor?
Not that I know of.
Doctor, can these sick people be cured?
Not they. An asylum's the only safe place for them.
Any disease of the mind can be cured with the cooperation of the patient.
Well,
I do like that mentality.
Scientifically, I think I'll go and set a few traps.
Yes, I'll help you. We may not find anything more than a diseased mind, but even that may be interesting. Doctor, I've got to talk to you.
Later. Now I want you to go and get some rest.
Go on, Larry.
If he had just been willing to say, lock me up and examine me. Because there is a movie later where he does that, and it actually proves to be the most useful thing.
Said to him about mass hypnotism.
So, John, your son is a sick man. He's received a shock that has caused definite psychic maladjustment. You must send him out of this village.
You're talking like a witch doctor. My son is ill. The best place for him is in his own home, proving his innocence.
Does the prestige of your family name mean more to you than your son's health?
Oh, nonsense. The one way for him to get cured is to stay here and fight his way out of this.
And I tell you that shock therapy is too strong for him in his present state.
Listen to me, Dr. Lloyd. 5 generations of Talbots haven't been affected by this village. That boy stays here.
Oh, very well. We'll see how he is in the morning.
All right, we're setting up traps, brother.
All right, sir. Last one, huh? That ought to hold him.
Another night. And here he comes creeping again. But we have traps for a reason. So far, he can't get out. Struggling. But this is where things take an interesting turn. Because the law does not quite find him.
Well, he can't have disappeared into thin air. Take Phillips and work around the marsh. See if you can pick up the trail down there.
They're hunting him, but somebody finds him. And that would be our gypsy woman.
The way you walk is thorny, through no fault of your own. But as the rain enters the soil, the river enters the sea.
This was still hard to believe that she could revert him back.
Predestined end. Find peace for a moment, my son.
We didn't do this often, but all of a sudden, a very minimal cure.
What are you doing here?
I came to help you.
Where am I? What happened?
You are caught in the trap.
Here, let me do that.
Hurry, the dogs, they are hunting you.
Run, dude, run.
Hello there. Stop. Come here. You.
It's Master Larry. What are you doing here, sir?
Well, the same thing that you are, of course, hunting.
You got lucky there.
I hear you talking to someone.
It was Master Larry.
All right, go along.
Lucky that he only ran into some help. Some of his father's help.
Who was that?
Larry Talbot.
Oh, I think this is where the Batman music comes in. Give it a minute. Give it a minute. I think it's this scene. I could have sworn it was this scene. Don't freaking tell me that doesn't sound like it. Way too much like it. I hope this doesn't get cut. I'm expecting the freaking copyrights to butcher my reaction of this, I'll be honest. But for that part, please. It's just too ridiculously similar. I love it. I'm not here to complain. I love it. But back to the movie. He's just waking Evelyn up.
I'm going away.
Away?
I wish you would.
Why?
I gotta go. I can't stay here any longer.
Let me go with you. I'll fetch a few things and be back in a minute.
No. I'm going alone.
But I can help you.
You wouldn't want to run away with a murderer, would you?
Oh, Larry, you're not. You know you're not.
I killed Baylor. I killed Richardson. If I stay around here much longer, you can't tell who's going to be next. Wait. It might even...
Please. I've still got the charm you gave me, remember?
Yeah, I know, but I'm afraid.
Don't look at her hand then. Oh, you fool. Saw the pentagram in her hand.
Larry, what is it?
Your hand.
Can't see anything.
Mr. Tallman.
Father, I'm going with Larry.
No, it's no use.
She should have just stayed inside.
Father, I've got to get away from here. Baylor the gypsy was a werewolf. I killed him with that silver cane. I was bitten. Look. The pentagram.
That scar could be made by most any animal.
Yes, but it's the sign of the werewolf. They say that he can see it in the palm of the hand of his next victim.
That's hard to believe.
Oof.
I saw it. Tonight, in Gwen's hand.
Larry. How can I help you get rid of this fear, this mental quagmire you've got yourself into? What can I say to you?
You don't understand. You think I'm insane. Why... What's that?
That's Paul Mumford and the men. They caught nothing in the trap, so now they're going to hunt the wolf.
They're out hunting for me.
Stop it! Stop it! You can't run away.
That's it. That's what she said.
Who?
The gypsy woman.
Gypsy woman? Now we're getting down to it. She's been filling your mind with this gibberish. This talk of werewolves and pentagrams. You're not a child, Larry. You're a grown man, and you believe in the superstitions of a gypsy woman.
No, but the scar, the footprints in my room. Look, Father. I was caught in a trap tonight. I don't know how I got there. The old gypsy woman helped me get away. Now they're all out hunting for me.
Listen to me. You're Lawrence Talbot. This is Talbot Castle. You believe those men can come in here and take you out?
I'll go out to them. I can't help myself.
And I'll see to it that you can't go out to them. Come on, Larry.
He has a strategy, I'll give him that. Strapping him to a chair, but if only that was enough.
Get fast to the chair. All the windows are locked. I'll bolt the door so that nothing can get in or out. Now you will see that this evil thing you've conjured up is only in your mind.
Sir John.
Yes?
Captain Mumford and the men are waiting for you and Master Larry.
I'm coming.
But you're going to stay with me, aren't you?
Oh, no, I've got to go, Larry. These people have a problem. You must make your own fight. But we'll settle this thing tonight.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
What is it?
Take the cane.
Ooh.
What do I want with the cane?
Please. Just take it with you. Please.
All right.
Not a big request. All right, it is time for the finale.
You should come right across through there.
The beaters are driving right towards this point.
Did you give your son the sleeping pill?
Oh, no.
But I wanted him to sleep through all this hullabaloo.
And I want him cured tonight. In the morning, we'll have conclusive proof it was all in his mind.
What did you do?
Strapped him to the chair. Turned him to the window so that he could see something of the hunt.
I hope you won't be sorry.
Dr. Lloyd.
Coming.
Fully aware of what's going on. All right, we're looking around. Still love this grim forest background we have. He's got the cane, and the gypsy woman is out, and he has found her.
Frightened, are you, Sir John?
Frightened of what?
Of the night.
I wish these two characters had interacted more.
Startled me.
Don't be startled, Sir John. You have the silver cane for protection.
Who are you?
Hasn't your son told you?
You know, the gypsy's been filling his mind with this werewolf nonsense.
Nonsense, Sir John?
Yes, you've been preying on his gullibility with your witches' tales.
But you fixed him, didn't you, Sir John? You don't believe the witches' tales, do you?
Not for a minute.
Then where were you going, Sir John? Why aren't you back there at the shooting stand?
I was.
Were you heading back to the castle? Did you have a moment's doubt? Were you heading to make sure he's all right?
I wanted to be with my son. I was going back.
Yes, Sir John, you were going. Hurry, Sir John.
Oh,
Hurry.
man. Oh, man.
Come around this way, men! Swing out to the right there and come through again.
White, you and Crepes take charge.
I could have sworn I hit him dead on.
And I, too. Have you forgotten it takes a silver bullet for a werewolf?
Huh? Yeah, he's out. Oh, and of course, Gwendolyn's out here.
Don't go through the woods.
Why?
Listen, the hunt is on.
But I want to help him.
You'd better come with me.
Oh, no, I've got to find him.
Come with me or he will find you.
Useless. She had a way out even there from this mistake. I still love this music, man. Oh, and Dad's creeping in on him. Anyone gonna save her? Oh, he sees his father. Oh. Belting the crap out of him. Somehow doesn't get bitten. Claude Rains going through the big fight, man. Wow. It's so heavy. He didn't believe his son. He now goes through the same experience. Would have been interesting if the sequel had been him getting bitten. Him being the new werewolf. And now he has to see the change. Dead son.
The way you walked was thorny, through no fault of your own. But as the rain enters the soil, the river enters the sea. So tears run to a predestined end. Your suffering is over. Now you will find peace for eternity.
Wow.
Down this way, man!
It's really hard to talk during scenes in this movie, man. I'm sorry if I've been quieter than usual.
Gwen, are you all right?
The wolf must have attacked her and Larry came to the rescue.
Amazing that they didn't kill Gwen.
Larry.
And they cut it. They cut it much quicker than I expected for this too. But this is one example of a very appropriate horror ending. That's it. We end literally on the tragedy. We're not sappying it away. Oh, man. It's heavy. That ending still sits so heavy with everything. It's a classic. It doesn't incorporate as much as what you'd expect for the first werewolf movie, but again, as I explained, a different direction was proposed for this at first. Oh, and I still love to think what could have been if we had gone some different directions. It's always fun to talk about that with horror, but if you're still here, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I apologize if this had cut out a lot of sound. Again, this has a lot of music in it, why I was sticking with mostly 30s horror. But I really wanted to do the Wolfman for the classic lore, to get in most of the classic monsters. Because again, Dracula, the monster of Frankenstein, Invisible Man, Mummy, Wolfman. All in good fun. All in good fun. Have a lovely Halloween, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. And if we're doing this again next year or even sooner, you never know how things work out. Just let me know. What do you think I should react to? What would you like to even hear me talk about? I'm a nerd. I love to talk. One of the biggest reasons I have this channel. Have a great day, everyone. Keep it real.